Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 14 of Real Estatically Speaking and More. I'm your host, Karen Coke, and as usual, this is this show seeks to educate you on various topics relevant to the real estate industry. We also invite other professionals in the real estate business to share on topics also relevant to the industry. And today's topic is: did you know that NHD has over 12 benefits? Mm, man, yes, they do. So I'll just go right into our quote. And our quote is: real estate is an imperishable asset, ever increasing in value. It is the most solid security that human ingenuity has devised. Let me read that over again for you because it's important that we get it. Real estate is an imperishable asset, ever increasing in value. It is the most solid security that human ingenuity has devised. It is the basis of all security and about the only indestructible security. So, real estate, the business of real estate is very powerful. As usual, when you join, I'm asking you to share, to subscribe, those who have not yet subscribed, to comment, to like. We would love to hear from you. We'd love your feedback, and would love your also your we would also love to get your input as to what other topics you would like to hear. So this evening, I I will be going right into our presentation, and this presentation is an excerpt of uh, a webinar that I had done some time ago, just sharing on the NHT benefits. And the presenter who did this presentation is an NHT rep by the name of Jaiwansa Hall. So, without further ado, I'll just take you right into the presentation. Take you right into the presentation.
We have heard of all the services that are being offered, but I am 100% sure everybody is wondering, how am I going to finance? What am I going to buy or going to purchase a unit or land? Now, NHT has a mandate to increase and enhance the housing stock in Jamaica. And as a result of that, we basically missioned ourselves by improving the quality of Jamaicans to facilitate home ownership and community development, particularly, and I wanted to just underline the word particularly, among low-income earners. Why I said to underline, it's because NHT provide affordable housing for all, right? But we seek to try to assist the low-income earners even more. Our vision is to rank among the leading housing finance institution in the world, renowned for customer service and contribution to national development. Now, what we really do, INHC provide loans to either to build, buy, and some instance repair houses, right? And basically to increase and enhance the stock of housing in Jamaica. Now, we might have seen a lot of projects going on and different schemes coming out from the National Housing Trust. Our focus as well is to ensure that persons use their benefits to ascertain housing on the open market. And we also provide funding in the construction sector to promote building system and efficiency. We'll get further into that for you to understand fully how we provide funding for those sorts of situations. Or we funded, if you're an employee, we take 2% of your gross salary. Every month, you'll see that deducting line item on your payslip. Self-employed will take 3% of their income. And voluntary contributors, these are persons who are not required to pay NHT, but have an interest to do so. One such example is Jamaicans living overseas. If they wish to contribute to the National Housing Trust to ascertain a benefit, they can also do so. So, how do you qualify for an NHT benefit? It's basically three things you're looking at. We're looking at one, you have been a contributor for at least a year, and ensure that your contributions are current within the last 3 months. All right? And you're supposed to be between ages 18 and 65 years. Once you satisfy all of that, you can approach the NHT as it, if you wish to buy, to build, and for second, for persons who have already own a home, to improve that property, right? Now, when it comes on to buying, it's really for first-time homeowners, okay? First-time homeowners. And NHT, for the open market loans, we give up to $6.5 million. And we have contributors, you can have up to 2 contributors, so you can get up to $13 million. So you can have 4 applicants, and you get up to $13 million. For house lots, land, we give up to $2.5 million. And the remainder of your entitlement, you can get that to do your construction. Now, we have a program to which has been doing well thus far, which is our cluster housing, right? It's really a minimum of 3 persons. So for the open lot and house lot, the maximum that you can have coming together is 2 persons. The cluster housing, this is just a smarter way of trying to put different contributors together so that they can create their own development. So it's a minimum of 3 persons and a maximum of 9 lots. So simple maths will tell you that if it is that you have 2 persons that can go together for 1 lot, right? It will be, you can have a maximum of 18 persons coming together. You can get up to $2.5 million for land. So you multiply that by the 18, that's the amount you can get for land under the cluster housing program if it is that you're doing 9 lots. Now, the remainder for you to build on that land would have been that $4 million. And these figures is subject to affordability, right? So you can get a maximum of up to $6.5 million each. So this is where it gives you the opportunity to want to have add your personal touch to this development, and as well as choosing your own neighbor. You know, it allows a different energy into it, and you will more than satisfy because this is your product. The NHT also offer loans for you to build on your own land. So after you have purchased such, or you have a land before, you can get up to $6.5 million to build on that land. and $13 million for co-applicants. Where construction loan are concerned, it's really a difference between the lot and the entitlement. So if you're qualified for $6.5 million and you bought a piece of land for $2.5 million or $2 million, you will get the difference to build. And again, you can multiply that by two if it's co-applicant going together. These are really loans to facilitate home improvement. These are for second-time homeowner. Basically, person who have already owned a home. For home improvement, you want to increase value of your property. You can get up to $2.5 million, and this is if it is that you have not got a benefit from the NHT. That's the home improvement loan. Where the 15 plus loan is concerned, this is when you have gotten a benefit from the NHT and you want, after 15 years, you have to wait 15 years to get the additional quote unquote home improvement loan, which is called our 15 plus. If you are part of the private public sector, you're a public sector worker, we reduce that 15 to 10 years. So it's called our 10 plus loan. And the same apply, you get up to $2.5 million. We also give loans for solar panel. I will give you up to $2.5 million for per person, per contributor for that. All right. NHT will have been mentioned in all corners when it comes on to you purchasing your home in Jamaica. The question may jump out at you. Why? Why is this so? Because we offer the lowest interest rate. Looking at this table, you realize that there are different income bands. You look at where you fall, and those are the interest rates applied. Where you see in the minimum wage of 15,000 and 15,000, 30,000, you realize there's a 0% right across the board. The difference between both is that what the 15,000 to 30,000 has a service charge applied, which is 2%, right? And the 30,000 to 42,000, 2% as well, and the 42,000 and above, it's 5%. So you find that with all of the interest rate overall, we have the lowest, even at the highest income band. And interest rate plays a lot in your monthly mortgage payment. Now, earlier I was listening, I heard the lawyer spoke, the valuer spoke, the surveyor spoke. Every individual or every profession, it requires payment. They all require payment. Now, one of the biggest issues that most persons have in purchasing a house is their deposit. It's a large feat, and it is wondering how. NHT sought to put out the year for you to access your contribution to go towards your deposit, meaning the amount that you have contributed over the years that are not collected through your contribution refunds. So these uncollected amounts can be used towards the following: the deposit, your legal fees, shortfall, surveyor's ID report, valuation report, structural engineer's report, or your property tax. This is a great enabler because you will not have been looking for that funds, right? And it depends on how much your 2% is. That it can be a very large sum that help you a whole lot, and and either way it will help to reduce the cost, the additional cost of the housing. Now this is an additional program that we have, a home grant, where basically we offer up to $2.5 million to persons who are earning up to $15,000 weekly, and they have to be earning that for 7 consecutive years. And this is reason for doing this. We find that person who are earning those amounts, it's highly unlikely that they'll be able to get up to the $6.5 million. So NHT add that $2.5 million, and for any single applicant, they can only access up to $7 million. And for co-applicants, they can borrow up to $9 million. All right. The The parent assist two. This is where we assist young person or just somebody who is seeking to buy a property and their parents have never used NHT loan. And remember now, NHT is for first time homeowner. But in this case, where the parent has never used the NHT benefit, right, and wishes to assist their child, whether biologically or legally adopted, they can give their child their benefit, their entitlement. And the good thing about it is the loan wouldn't be calculated on the child's tenure, on the parent's tenure. It will be on the child's tenure, so it will be a longer time to repay the amount. So if the parent was entitled to 6.5, that child could get that additional 6.5 added to what they're entitled to get to purchase a property. Now, other finance options, the first presenter spoke about it, the joint finance program. And this is where, if there's a shortfall, you come to the NHT, you're qualified for $6.5 million, the property value for $10 million. You want to find where you're going to get that 3.5. So the participating institutions that we have that is involved in this process is the NCB, Sagicor Life, Scotia Building Society, VMBS, First Caribbean, JMB, and First Global. All these institutions, everything is done at the institution. And then we have the power pursuit arrangements, it's basically between two institutions. And the security is accepted for the loan. Microfinancing, it's really an arrangement that we have with the credit unions, which again is to enable persons to assist persons to get funding for deposits and any other home related legal fees. So you can draw down on $850,000 at any first instance from that 1.5 billion, right? And as I said before, it can be used for any housing related things. Is it? We have our scheme options, but for further, we can always check our website for scheme being advertised and so forth, and you can always give us a call where that is concerned. Now, in concluding, what I must say is that purchasing a house is one of the biggest decision any individual will make, but is also one of the best one you could ever make. And it takes a lot and it has a lot to do with you. So all the information that you have now, it more comes down to you. As in, you have to be disciplined enough to get your deposits together, do your necessary searches, because you'll have all the information here, but if you don't have that drive to get it done, you won't. And just remember, owning your own home can make a better life and a better livelihood, right? And we are the NHT are committed not just to provide quality housing for a Jamaican, but at the same time provide the best service so that you can ascertain your benefit to purchase a house on the open market as well. So in ending, your house, which is your security, your home, that level of tranquility in your life, just a legacy that you're leaving behind. And I do thank you all for listening to this presentation.
All right. So that was a very short and spicy and in depth presentation from NHT, sharing the number of benefits that they have that we ought all to take advantage of at some stage of our lives. So different ones of us, maybe at different phases of our life. Some people may just be starting out with the home buying process. Some may need to do home improvement, and so on. So I'll just give a brief rundown of the different products that he mentioned a while ago. And, you can always revisit the video for the in-depth, um, for the more in-depth information on, what is what. So of course, he mentioned about the open market, the house lots, the cluster housing, the build on own land, the home improvement, the 15 plus, and this 15 plus, there's 10 plus first. We're in persons. Well, I'm not so sure. Let me not try to explain. But there's a 10 plus, a 15 plus. There's a solar panel, which is valued at 2.5 million per contributor. There's home grant for those who are at the lower income level, who may not be able to otherwise be able to afford a house on their own. So they may be eligible for the full 6.5 billion. But for instance, there's a house that costs in the 7 million price range, or if they're only eligible for 5 million and they need this additional 2.5, then NHT will provide a grant for those in the lower income bracket so that they can afford. And I have personally seen my clients, some of my clients, access this benefit, and it is really a very good benefit for persons who would not otherwise be able to afford a house. And he spoke about the contributions refund. So if you're buying a house and you don't know where your closing cost is coming from, but you have never accessed your contribution refund, you can have a drawdown. You have the parent assist. So if your parents never access their NHT benefit, and they can assign it to you as a child, and NHT will apply the maximum years that the child, that's the maximum term that they give to a young person, so that over time they can pay it off over that period. There is the microfinancing, and the microfinancing is another very creative one, wherein they have on loan funds to credit unions, so that persons who don't know where their closing cost and so on is and deposit is coming from, they can access that through the credit union. There is a joint finance program wherein if you have the NHT, you and, for example, you are joining with a partner, and you have both qualified for the maximum NHT amount, and your income, the property you're buying is much more than the maximum ceiling, and your income can afford additional loan, then you can borrow from another financial institution, and the processing of this loan will be done through that financial institution. So of course, NHT would have provided, or you would have gotten the information from NHT to give them, to provide the information that you are eligible for the full 13 million, and the financial institution will do their checks and balances, and they would also do their computation to see what additional amount you're eligible for. I have known also that there are instances persons may not necessarily want to access a loan immediately from that other financial institution, but they may at a later date want to access financing from them, like maybe within the next 3 to 5 years. probably to do home improvement or expansion, then they, instead of taking the loan through NHT and then possibly losing their benefit because they would have to go directly to that other financial institution, they now access the loan, the NHT benefits through that financial institution, and then they can now do their additional loan processing at a later date. So that is also possible too. They spoke about the pari passu, wherein I guess both financial institutions, the NHT and that other financial institution, um, rank on the same level in terms of granting a mortgage. So you're basically utilizing two financial institutions to access your mortgage. They spoke about the scheme units. So the benefits are wide and diverse, and persons are not, I find, in my field as a realtor, that many persons are not aware of these benefits. And there is a saying that says um, my people perish, not the saying, this is biblical. My people perish because of lack of knowledge. So some people are going about thinking that they'll never ever own a house, and it's all because they are not educated on the benefits, or what is out there in the market that they can access or that they can benefit from. So I trust that as of from now on, no one will be left in the dark, because we are trying our best to get the information out there so that as many persons as possible can be real estate literate, because we want you to be homeowners, landowners, whatever it takes, because it is critical. That is the best way that, as Jaiwanza said before, that you can leave a legacy behind, and that is when you own a piece of real estate. I want to thank you all, for those who have tuned in and those who will be watching later or at a later time, that you will, as usual, share, subscribe, and like the channel. Thanks again for tuning in, and have a blessed week, rest of the weekend.